Hallo Leute und herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge Los Judgment. Jawohl, wir sind wieder hier voll am Start. Sorry dafür, ich hatte ja angekündigt, dass am Sonntag noch eine Folge kommt. Die kam dann leider nicht. Und deswegen bin ich wütend und deswegen haue ich den jetzt erstmal hier aufs Maul. So, zack, zack, zack. Komm mal her, mein Freund. Alter, meine Lebensanzeige ist voll weit unten. Alles klar. Was will ich ja jetzt wissen? Alles klar, zack. Oh ja! Alles klar, okay. Soweit, so gut. Die haben wir schon mal verprügelt. Regelmäßige Mahlzeiten sind wichtig, ja. Dann wollen wir mal gucken, dass wir hier irgendwo mal was zu essen finden. Erstmal hebe ich hier den Müll auf. Ja, wie gesagt, also ich habe es Sonntag nicht geschafft. Ich bin Samstag leider etwas hart versackt. Und ja, da war es halt nicht am Sonntag nicht möglich, eine Folge zu machen. Aber hey, gehört auch dazu, ne? Muss auch mal sein. Hier, Smile Burger, ja, hinein, rein da. Ziehen wir uns mal einen fetten Burger rein. Einen wunderschönen guten Tag. Ich hätte gerne. Hallo. Wo jeder Burger zu einem Lächeln wird. Jawohl, darf ich Ihre Bestellung aufnehmen? Darfst du, Perle? Wow, okay. Was gibt's denn hier? Feines. Der sieht geil aus hier. Eine legendäre Smile-Kombo. Ja, die nehmen wir hier. Ja. Kauf. Jawohl, her damit. Oh mein Gott.
Starving.
Ja, danke schön.
Pretty tasty, thanks.
Ja, danke. Ja, alles klar, hau rein. So, aber Perle, ich habe gerade gekämpft, ich habe Hunger wie ein Bär. Also ich nehme mir nochmal so einen Burger. Ja, den ziehen wir uns noch rein.
Starving.
Jawohl.
Pretty tasty, thanks.
Gegenstände finden. Ich finde was? Was stand da jetzt? Ah. Ach, das ist schon wieder der Kram. Ich muss schon wieder Gegenstände finden. Ja, das ist auch sowas, ne? So, dann... Ah, hier, guck mal, hier sind sie doch überall. Hier ist schon mal was... Oh, warte mal, hier liegt ja überall was rum. So, mal her, Alter, ich stolper hier überall durch die Gegend. Da haben wir doch schon mal was gefunden. Je mehr wir finden, desto mehr geht dieses Symbol da leer. Okay, soweit so gut. Aber wir wollen ja auch weiterkommen, ne? Ich kann ja jetzt hier nicht noch überall rumrennen und den ganzen Krempel suchen. Vor allem hier liegt noch sowas. Das ist doppelt blöd. Warte mal, ich guck mal ganz kurz hier. Ah ja. Vorsicht, aus dem Weg. Mann auf dem Skateboard. So, gibt's hier noch irgendwas? Hier liegt noch was rum. Ah, wow, das ist aber jetzt nicht wirklich viel. Da ist noch was. Ja. Hier liegt auch noch was. Kann das sein, dass es dann immer so in der Umgebung ist? Zeig mir bitte nicht, da will sich schon wieder jemand prügeln. Da habe ich jetzt gerade gar keinen Bock drauf. Vorsicht, aus dem Weg. Zack. Alter, was stimmt denn bei dir nicht? Wer bist du denn? Wo kommt der denn her? Aua. Alter, ich habe gerade gegessen. Das mit diesem R2, ne, das verstehe ich irgendwie nicht. Aua, Alter! Aua, okay. Digga, was stimmt bei... Kann ich mal aufstehen? Ja, du Arsch. Au. Okay, der haut mich gleich um, ne? Okay, er hat mich umgehauen. Alter, was ist denn das für ein Typ? Wo kommt der überhaupt? Was ist da los? Wo kam der jetzt her? Vor allem, wo kommt denn der denn? Tolle Wurst. Das hat sich ja jetzt gelohnt, ne? Warte mal, wie sieht's denn jetzt hin? Wie ist es denn hier so meine Leiste bestellt hier? Warte mal, wo sehe ich denn das? Ah ja gut, die ist wieder voll, alles klar. Was war denn das für ein Typ? Wo kam der her? Was mit dir? Hier was Sonne. Also irgendwie muss ich die Dinger finden, wenn ich was gegessen habe. Das ist mir nämlich letztens schon mal aufgefallen. Na egal. Wir hätten fast alle gehabt, ne? Egal. So, wo ist jetzt hier der Eingang? Hier, ne? Och ne. Ey Leute, könnt ihr euch mal verpissen? Ich hab keinen Bock, mich hier die ganze Zeit zu prügeln, Alter. Das stimmt bei euch nicht, ey. Komm her jetzt hier. Alter, hör doch mal auf mit dem Scheiß hier, ey. Hör doch ab. Kannst du dich verteidigen, wie du willst. Alter, gehen die mir auf den Sack. Stimmt bei euch nicht hier. Alter. Piss dich doch mal hier. Paf, Junge. Trete ich den nochmal und den trete ich auch nochmal. Bams, Junge, ey. Meine Fresse. Was ist denn hier los gerade, ey? Jeder will sich nur mit mir prügeln, ey. Ich will eigentlich nur in die Agentur. Ey, warte mal, wo muss ich denn hin? Hier. Ich glaub's ja, ey.
Oh, perfect timing, Yagami-san. And here I was about to go without you. Are you ready to visit Mamiya-san?
Ja. Jetzt besuchen wir Eharas Opfer und sie weiß nichts davon. Aha. Naja, wollen wir die mal besuchen gehen, ne? Wenigstens muss ich mich da nicht mehr prügeln.
Well, the best we can hope for is that she'll hear us out.
Ja. Das ist der Plan. So. Wo soll's hin? Mamias Wohnung, jawohl. Und ab dafür. Viel zu hart, ey. Ah ja. Verrücktes Taxi. Ost-Ikebukuro, Wohnung von Yoi Mamiya. Tja, schauen wir mal, ne? Was die so zu erzählen hat, die Frau.
Remember, we're speaking to a victim here, Yagami-san. One whose assailant we defended in court. If we had tried to make an appointment, she probably would have declined outright.
Not sure showing up unannounced is much better. So let's just hope she's willing to talk.
Yes, there's no way around it. It's a risk we had to take.
Well, here goes nothing.
Yes.
I'm Shirasaki from the Genda Law Office, the attorney for Mr. Akihiro Ehara. You may remember me from the hearings.
Why are you here? Don't you know it's rude to show up at someone's door uninvited?
I understand, but we have a pressing matter that directly concerns you. If we could do this another way, we would. I apologize for any inconvenience.
I'm sorry, but the trial's over and done with. You know I can legally turn you away.
You're right, but I'm only asking a moment of your time. Please, would you mind?
Selbst Saori-san kann sie nicht überzeugen. Haben wir diesmal Pech?
I don't have time for this. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Wait, before you do that. Sorry to butt in. I'm Yagami, a detective helping Saori here out.
And?
So kann es nicht enden. Ich muss sie irgendwie davon überzeugen, uns reinzulassen. Es geht kein Mitgefühl zeigen. Wir zeigen mal Mitgefühl.
Are you aware of the trending video that's leading people to believe Hara committed murder? Thing is, the victim was confirmed to be alive in Yokohama until the morning of your own incident. And since Ahara was on the train with you, they're ruling him out as a murder suspect.
So, what is it you're getting at?
I'm just trying to ensure you're in the clear from any of that unfortunate business. If we could do this now, we'd never bother you again. All we need is 10 minutes of your time.
How absurd.
We're only trying to help, but if later would work better for you, we could always come back another time. With our supervisor, of course. That visit would probably be more formal. There'd be paperwork, audio tapes, you know the drill. You'll want to clear your schedule.
I really don't have time for any of that.
No, I understand, and it's entirely our fault. We thought we'd do this casually, but we really should have been more by the book. But it is a murder case, so we do have to make sure our paperwork is in order here. Now, would you prefer to schedule a date to accommodate a more formal interview?
You said 10 minutes if we do it now, right?
We'll make it as painless as possible.
All right. Hold on.
We really do appreciate it.
Geht doch.
Well,
Meinem
I'm
Charme kann
impressed.
keiner widerstehen.
I'm also not sure I should trust a word you say ever again.
Really? I did get us in the door, didn't I?
I'm joking. I do appreciate the help. Now let's not screw this up. This is likely the only conversation we'll have with Mamiya-san.
Hello.
Hallo.
Hi there.
Hi. Again, we apologize for the intrusion.
Let's just get this over with already.
Okay, wollen wir uns die mal vornehmen.
Okay, bye-bye.
Wie, bye bye, ich komme jetzt
We'll
erst
make
mal
this
rein.
quick.
Wir sollten irgendwie das Eis brechen. Ich sollte mich nach etwas Nützlichem umsehen. Okay.
Hey.
Yui Mamiya lebt hier mit ihrem Gatten und einem Sohn. Auf dem Bild sehen sie glücklich aus. Mhm. So, was haben wir hier noch? Das Bild hat ein Kind gemalt, ist wohl seine Mutter, sogar hübsch gerahmt. Herzlich. Aber ja sonst noch irgendwas? Halt. Ein Baseballschläger, ja moin.
What the?
Ein Kinderfahrrad, offensichtlich gehört es dem kleinen Jungen von eben. Ja, wow. Kriegen wir noch irgendwas zu Gesicht? Achso, das haben wir ja schon. Oh Gott, diese Sucherei jedes Mal, ne? So, das Kinderfahrrad haben wir. Der Baseballschläger scheint irgendwie nichts zu bedeuten. Na?
Aha.
Ja, was heißt der Aha? Ich finde ja nichts Aha-mäßiges. Ah, warte mal, kann ich hier noch ein paar Sachen abchecken?
Suspicious.
Ah. Der Laptop ist sicher voll mit nützlichen Daten, aber wir kommen natürlich nicht ran.
Hey.
Hey, Worum?
Suspicious.
Ehefrau, Mutter, Büroangestellte und Opfer von Iharas Belästigung. Sie stiegen in Ikeburo in denselben Zug, wo sie Iharas Grabscherei erdulden musste.
Hey.
Ich will den Zwerg da!
Hey.
Alter! Junge, dieses Kind nervt. Okay, Ermittlungen erstmal beenden. So, junge Frau, sprich dich aus.
So, talk. I've already told the police and the court everything they could want to know about that morning.
I'm sorry to put you through this again, but would you mind going over those details with us?
What else is left to discuss?
I understand how pressured you might feel.
I've gone over this so many times. I wonder if pressing charges was even worth it.
No, what you did was both brave and inspirational. Many victims are afraid to come forward for any number of reasons. Your voice might give them courage to find their own.
Ironic. Hearing this from that predator's defense team.
Well, perhaps.
Would you mind walking us through that day from the beginning?
It's nothing so mysterious. I was just on my way to work when some man grabbed my butt. That's all it was.
Nothing else was out of the ordinary that day?
Correct.
Not to pry, but where is your husband today?
Still at work? He usually doesn't get home until later. On that note, I have to feed my son, so let's get this wrapped up soon.
We'll try our best to. Moving along. On that day, you and Ahara-san boarded the train bound for Ikebukuro, correct? Had you ever seen the man before then?
No. At least not that I can recall. How many times must I go over this? Your lawyer friend here already knows everything I have to say. What do you gain by getting me to repeat things?
That's the thing. Yagami-san here is a specialist. He can take whatever you repeat, analyze it, and draw up an entirely new conclusion. Right?
Of course. That's exactly why I'm here.
Super, jetzt liegt der gesamte Druck auf mir, kommt in letzter Zeit häufiger vor. Ah, Perle, dann pack mal aus hier. Sprich ich aus.
In the security footage as you stepped onto the train, it looks like Ahara-san stepped right behind you. Were you aware of his presence at this point?
I was. It felt like someone kept pushing up against me with no sense of personal boundaries. I remember second-guessing myself at the time, thinking it was normal for the train to be that packed.
Then the train took off while you were stuck in that situation.
Yes. And then I felt the back of his hand against me. It kept getting worse from there, to the point where he went under my skirt. And the pig had the nerve to write it off as an accidental brush on a crowded train. But that kind of touch wasn't accidental. He even grabbed at me.
Truly awful. And I do sympathize. I've also had to turn in an abuser like that. Personally speaking, some men can't wait to debase themselves at the first opportunity.
Why would you say that and look at me?
I just stood there, frozen. I couldn't see who was touching me. I had no idea what to do. I wanted to scream. But what if he just played it off? So I decided I would bear it till the next station.
Are you okay, Mommy?
I'm fine, sweetie. We're just having a bit of grown-up talk. Are you hungry?
Uh-huh.
Then go read your book and wait over there for Mommy. We're almost done.
Es bleibt nicht mehr viel Zeit, ich sollte mich kurz fassen. Bis jetzt widerspricht Mamias Aussage nicht den Aufnahmen der Überwachung.
You said the abuse lasted the entire 6 minutes between Ikebukuro and Shinjuku Station. Did you see the groper's face at any time during that span?
No. I was too terrified to look. And I thought, even if I did, he'd just pull away and escape. But just as the train was pulling into Shinjuku, I reached back and grabbed the hand on me. That's when I saw his face. Of course, he shook me off as the doors opened, but I'd already gotten a clear look at him. He must have known I could turn him in at that point. So he ran, and I chased after.
Right. That was captured by the station's security cameras.
Great job tailing him in such a crowded space. On that note, did you ever happen to lose sight of Ahara-san while running?
His cat was pretty easy to spot, and no one else was bolting off the platform like that, so I never lost sight of him. At that point, I could feel my voice returning, so I just screamed, "That man grabbed me!"
I'm glad there were good Samaritans nearby.
For sure. And there were a lot of smartphones out, so I figured there was no way for him to get away with it. I was so relieved.
I see. I think I've got the gist of it. But now we've got a piece of evidence that contradicts what you've told us.
What do you mean?
Okay, Marias Geschichte deckt sich mit ihrer Aussage vor Gericht, doch eine Sache widerspricht ihr. Okay, welcher Beweis ist ein Widerspruch? Von der Kamera wie der Grabstein versucht, von Taten zu fliehen, dabei von dem weiblichen Opfer verfolgt wird. Ein Video, das ein Pendler mit seinem Handy aufgenommen hat, es zeigt, wie Akio Ehara auf dem Bahnsteig ist. Das Video war auf dem Fernsehen zu sehen. Der Bericht der forensischen Untersuchung von Händen unmittelbar nach seiner Verhaftung. Die an seinen Händen entdeckten Fasern stimmen mit denen der Unterwäsche des Opfers überein. Eine Stunde vor der sexuellen Belästigung. Verdammt. Welchen könnten wir nehmen? Fallen. Ich weiß, die Position für China brauchen, so wie der wird ebenfalls eingezeichnet. Ich nehme das mal.
Well, on the same day, at 6:30 a.m. in Yokohama, a student teacher named Hiro Mikoshiba was sent off to work by his mother. But he was soon abducted near his home, only to be found dead much later in Ijincho.
Is that...
According to the video, Ihara-san here is the murderer.
what?
He killed Mikoshiba in cold blood to get vengeance for his bullied son. His kid was about to graduate high school, but instead, he took his own life. So Ihara took it upon himself to punish his son's tormentor.
That's awful.
But now we come back to the issue here. If this footage is authentic, then Ihara-san couldn't have been your assailant. The victim's estimated time of death and Ihara-san's time of arrival in Tokyo simply don't allow for it. It's just not possible for someone to make that commute. But there's the flip side. If Ihara-san was in fact your assailant, it would mean this murder footage is a fabrication.
I don't know what you expect me to say after all this.
Right? Now you know how we're feeling. That's why we came to see if you had any leads for us.
So that's what this is about.
After hearing your story, I have no doubt you endured a lot that day. Which would obviously mean that murder video is faked.
Then, who shared that video? And why?
Wish I knew. Based on the quality, something this convincing would need quite a budget. Whether it's CG on top of real murder footage, or just a rock-solid AI creation, no way it was cheap. So why go through all this effort to fake a murder? Who would benefit from it? But I have to say, I feel much closer to piecing this puzzle together with your help today. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, and rest assured, this will be the last time you see us. Our apologies for the unexpected visit, and for dredging up unpleasant memories.
It's fine. So long as this is really the end of it all.
Ja, das weiß ich aber noch nicht. War das wirklich der richtige Hinweis, den ich dir jetzt gezeigt habe? Das ist jetzt echt die Frage, ne? Ich kann doch nicht das... Oh, wobei, anscheinend schon.
I'd
ne?
like to report Mamiya-san's account to the rest of the team. Can I count on you to be there?
Sure. Let me give Kaito-san a heads up.
All right, then I'll see you there.
Okay. Ah, wollen wir mal Kaito anrufen?
Yo, me.
Hey, I just got back to Kamurocho. Everything good? Any news?
All good here, man. What's with you? You worried Arcade got to me or something?
Ja, wahrscheinlich, ne?
I mean, they did run their mouths about stabbing us in the back. But if you're good, I'm good. Anyway, I'm heading to Genda so Sari-san and I can go over what we learned from Mamiya.
You're the boss. As for me, I'm calling it a day.
You do that.
Okay, er macht für heute Schluss. Wir machen gleich auch Schluss für heute. Aber als allererstes gehen wir jetzt hier nochmal eben hoch. Und reden nochmal mit denen. Na komm, rein hier. So.
Are we
Sprich zu
ready,
mir.
Yagami-san? Let's start with our visit to Mamiya-san, if that sounds reasonable to you.
Ja.
Yeah, let's start there.
So, the victim's story is completely in line with her court testimony, huh?
That's correct. There wasn't anything new to pick up.
Unfortunately.
In which case, should we look into the murder video instead? Like, figure out how they made it?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Whether that tape's fake or real, someone had to put it online, right? Do we have any theories on who that might be?
Well, the footage showed enough of the surroundings to make the crime scene clear. As somebody who's been there, I can confirm that the blood splotches match what you see in the footage. Which means...
Wer hat Eharas Mordvideo hochgeladen? Ehara hat das Video selbst veröffentlicht, der Staatsanwalt hat es veröffentlicht, die Mordkomplizen haben es veröffentlicht, die Polizei von Kanagawa hat es veröffentlicht. Gute Frage. Ich würde mal sagen, die Mordkomplizen, ne?
the murderer's accomplices have to be the ones who posted it for him.
Yeah, I can't see it any other way.
I also agree with Yagami-san.
But in that case, what would their motive be?
Das ist die große Frage.
Maybe they wanted to make a mockery of the police, or even the whole system.
Huh?
We know Ehara got himself convicted for groping, so he'd have an alibi for Mikoshiba's killing. But then, his conspirators turned it around by uploading the murder video online. Almost as if to say, look how he got away with it.
I see. Yeah, that does make it sound like he's taunting them.
That's well and good, but I'd like to shift gears. Let's talk about the actual fabrication of the video. How does one go about that?
Well, for example, the true culprit would be taped murdering Mikoshiba. Then Ehara's face would be copied and blended onto the killers. That's how they'd approach it in a Hollywood movie.
But then, wouldn't you be able to see traces of it being faked?
Tsukumo-san reported that he's found nothing of the sort in his analysis.
We've been down this road before. If we take the stance that the footage is fabricated, we have absolutely nothing to work with.
Then let's tackle this from the stance that the video's actually real. If that's the case, there has to be a flaw in the groping issue. I think we've collected enough evidence to find it too.
Before meeting with Yui Mamiya, didn't you mention the possibility of Ehara using a stand-in? Perhaps the real Ehara murdered Mikoshiba in Ijincho, then swapped places with the imposter so he could be detained.
But we couldn't find an opportunity for the swap to happen, remember? From the moment he set foot on the Ikebukuro platform, Ehara was constantly on camera.
But wait, that's not entirely accurate, is it?
Huh?
Ehara wurde zwischen der Ikebukuro-Station und nicht permanent gefilmt. Der Beweis dafür ist... Ja, was ist der Beweis dafür? Was ist der Beweis dafür? Kann ja eigentlich dann nur das sein?
Take a look at this.
I'm not sure why you're showing us this. There's not a moment when Ehara's off camera. Sad as it may be, such a major transit hub is bound to have tons of surveillance nowadays.
Yeah, you nailed the exact point I wanted to make here.
Which was...
Ja, so zwischen... Achso, okay. Der ist es nicht. Dann muss es das Ticket sein.
What do you think this evidence indicates?
Ihara's transit card. That just shows he passed through the Ikebukuro station gate at 7:43 a.m. Its timestamp matches the security camera footage, so we know it's accurate.
Then, if Ihara committed the murder at 7:30 a.m. in Yokohama, no way he could have made it to Ikebukuro 13 minutes later.
I think we're all aware of that by now.
Okay, hang on. Let me start from the top again.
Okay, der war es auch nicht. Verdammt, welcher Beweis ist denn jetzt hier der richtige? Das ist eine gute Frage. Nehmen wir das? Wir versuchen das mal.
Take a look at this.
I'm not sure why you're showing us this. There's not a moment, sad as it may be, such a major transit hub.
Yeah.
Okay.
You nailed the exact point I wanted to make here.
Okay,
Which
dann kann...
was...
Okay, dann ist es... Dann muss es das hier sein. Ja, muss das sein.
What are your thoughts on this video?
I mean, other than it being extremely unsettling, I'm honestly a bit confused as to why you're bringing it up now.
Yeah, it is confusing, isn't it? If that's your first reaction, let me try
Auch nicht, ey. Moment, was? Ja, okay, dann gib mir das hier.
Remember how we mocked up a diagram of the Shinjuku station platform?
Yeah. Oh, wait! That's it! You could be onto something. There's a point where Ihara wasn't on camera at all.
What is this point you speak of?
Let's all go over the diagram so that everything will be clear. Here's what I want you to see.
So, okay, ja, das ist nicht durchgehend auf dem Video zu sehen, der Beweis dafür ist...
What the? Suspicious.
Hier greifen die Zeugen Ära diverse weitere Augenzeugen mit ihren Handys, bla bla bla. Dieser Pfeil zeigt den Weg Ära von das Opfer auf dem Bahnsteig, er endet bei Äras Ergreifung.
Suspicious.
Ja genau, nach dieser Stelle habe ich gesucht. Und zwar, ach so, da wo die Kamera, okay, alles klar.
It's very brief, but there's a moment where Ihara and Mamiya-san can't be seen by the security cameras. The dotted lines on the arrow represent the camera's blind spot.
It does appear so. So you're saying this is where the groper, the fake Ihara, traded places with the real one?
Can't say it's impossible, right?
Right. Except if that actually happened, Mamiya-san would have been right behind them at the time. Could the two really swap places without her noticing?
In a crowd like that, I think it's feasible.
If that really was Ihara's plan, then I'd say he was being careless.
Careless? How?
Well, on the day of the incident, the station was packed for morning rush hour. That means there was no solid guarantee the assailant could make the switch. He could have been nailed by any random passerby before reaching the blind spot.
Good point. Not only that, if Mamiya-san had called for help while the train was still moving, then the first Ihara would have been caught before even reaching the platform.
Oh, I mean, yeah! Called it.
Think about it, Yagami-san. Why would Ihara's accomplices meticulously plan out every last detail of this alibi, only to leave such a crucial component to chance, as Hoshino-kun pointed out?
Oh, just doing my job.
True. Good work, Hoshino-kun. In fact, I think that may back up my own take on it.
Yeah?
What if everything, including the appearance of leaving the plan to chance, was part of the plan?
Can you expound on that?
I'm saying I agree that such an airtight alibi wouldn't have allowed for contingencies. And that takes the question to another level. Just how far did they line up the pieces in advance to make the swap work?
Are you saying there's more to it than we discussed? What did we miss?
Wenn alles an Iharas Tag geplant war, der Mord an Mikoshiba eingeschlossen, lässt es folgenden Schluss zu. Hiro Mikoshiba lebt noch. Mamiya hat mit Ihara kooperiert. Der Mord geschah eigentlich in Kamurocho. Die Staatsanwaltschaft hat das Video gefälscht. Alter, was? Gute Frage. Schön das.
I know this won't go over well, but what if Mamiya was colluding with Ihara all along?
Huh?
Bear with me. Let's say Mamiya was in on this and knew about the imposter in advance. If that's the case, the swap could happen right in front of her and no one but the three of them would know.
You're saying the victim of a groping conspired with her assailant beforehand? That's ridiculous.
Vollkommen unmöglich ist es nicht. Es besteht die Chance, dass Mamiya Teil dieser
Let
Verschwörung
me just
ist.
say, I'm only trying to work out how a swap like that would be guaranteed to work. Now, if Ihara and his stand-in both know that Mamiya will pretend not to have seen them, they can trade places in the blind spot with impunity. Conversely, if Mamiya wasn't in on the plan, the idea of a swap would never work. We can say with certainty that she would have seen the swap, so... She could have even called attention to the real Ihara the moment he stepped in. That way, the people around her would be focused on chasing the correct assailant. The rest is as we know it. They caught Ihara and detained him until the police showed up.
Hold that thought. If your theory is accurate, what about Ihara's trace evidence? Remember that fibers of the victim's underwear were detected on his hand.
Well, that can also be explained by Mamiya being in on the plan. For example, while the stand-in was showing himself at the security cameras, Mamiya could have easily provided Ihara access to a pair of underwear at the same time. Maybe the stand-in loitered around for so long because he was letting everyone else get themselves in place.
It's not impossible.
We can work out the other details later. But the point is, Ihara's murder alibi is shot if Mamiya was involved. In summary, it's possible Ihara disgraced himself to secure an unshakable alibi for Mikoshiba's murder.
I'll concede that it's an avenue worth pursuing.
And when it comes to the prosecution, they can't just admit they got the first case so wrong. Plus, they can't question Ihara about Mikoshiba's murder. In fact, their only option is to claim the tape was faked.
So he managed to make a farce out of the system after all.
Well, his court case for his son's bullying did get more or less thrown out, didn't it? The school, the investigative committee, and the court all agreed there wasn't enough evidence to convict anyone. No surprise for me that the guy held a grudge against the system for so long.
Hold on. Before we all decide on this,
What's up?
Alter, das
the
ist ja voll...
obvious question to me is why would Mamiya be party to such a crime? She appears more than financially stable, and she's even raising a child. So why would she do something so enormously risky as helping establish a murder alibi?
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. But maybe she was promised something that far exceeds the risk. Or maybe Ihara has some kind of dirt on her even?
Enough to make her help with a murder? What sort of secret would be big enough to force someone into that corner?
Ein Streifen Polizist und eine verheiratete Büroangestellte und Mutter, einzige Verbindung die U-Bahn-Station.
What info do we have on Mamiya anyway? Maybe we can spot a connection to Ihara through her profile.
I'll pull her information. Just a second.
Oh, I just thought of something else those two would have guaranteed by working together.
What's that?
If Ihara wanted to use this crime as a murder alibi, he needed it to blow up into the public eye. But if he had chosen a victim who stayed silent, then nothing would have come of it. A solid plan would need to eliminate that variable, which means Mamiya being an accomplice was crucial to Ihara's success.
That's true.
Looks like Ihara pulled one over on the prosecution then. Had his accomplices right where he wanted them. even his victim. Once we learn how he's connected to Mamiya, we can root out the rest of his team.
Ah, guck mal an, da ist der
Let's
Baseballschläger.
see. According to her file, her maiden name is Yui Suzuki. 30 years old, so that's consistent. Originally from Ota, Tokyo. Attended a private high school called Kurakawa Academy. Later graduated from Toto University.
Huh.
Met her husband on the job, apparently. Her husband, Taichi Mamiya, is an industrial designer at Techno Zeta Inc. 6 years ago, she gave birth to their only son, Sota-kun, who's now in first grade.
Hold on. You said she went to Kurakawa Academy? I heard that name in Ijincho. If I recall correctly.
Okay, Alter, war ich gerade in der Schule. Ich auch später war dort.
That's not where Tsukuma went, was it? Before, you know, closing himself off to the world?
Nah, Tsukumo-san studied remotely. He told me that when we were out having drinks one night.
Wait. Tsukuma went out drinking with you?
Yeah, we had fun.
Why did you guys even talk about it?
Hey, why am I getting grilled all of a sudden?
I agree. This is nowhere near relevant. Yagami-san, what were you saying about Kurokawa Academy?
Oh, right.
Okay, dann muss er was. Waren wir in der Schule? Nein.
When I went to scope out the murder scene, there were these 3 guys watching the detectives and me. They told us they were just checking things out. They mentioned they're Kurakawa grads too.
You have any ID on you?
Will my license work?
Kake-san, age 30.
Akaike-san, age 30. Mommy is 30 as well.
What's that got to do with anything? Aren't we trying to find a connection between Mamiya and Ihara?
I found the Kurakawa Academy website. Looks like they're pretty prestigious. It's in Tokyo, specifically in Ota. Pretty close to where Mamiya lived. Oh,
What?
the girls there get such cute uniforms.
You little... You want to start all over from the bar exam?
Wait, I've seen that uniform before too, actually.
Where?
On an old picture of a teacher at Seiryo High. Sawa-sensei. Ihara's son had confided in her. Is she actually a Kurakawa grad too? I don't know Sawa-sensei's exact age, but she could well be 30. Maybe all of them are even classmates.
Could this mean they're actually linked? The victim and her up-to-now unrelated assailant?
It's a tenuous link at best. Could fall apart any time. But no true detective alive would pass it up.
Okay, hat dieses Sawa-sensei da auch noch was mit zu tun? Man weiß es nicht. Man weiß es nicht, aber wenn die gleiche Uniform haben, ja, was bisher geschah, okay, ja.
A previously unseen link is established between the groper and the victim. Charting out their relationship is akin to tracing a spider's web.
Na gut, aber die drei da, die müssen wir ausfindig
Thread
machen.
ruled out, only the improbable truth remains. Ihara orchestrated the groping as a diversion, and by tarnishing his name, he secures both an alibi and his ultimate revenge.
Naja, wir werden sehen. Neues Kapitel. Vereinte Flammen, jawohl, Kapitel 6, nice. Okay, ja, dann würde ich aber sagen, bevor wir hier mit Kapitel 6 anfangen, machen wir hier erstmal ein Folgenende. Ich hoffe mal, dass wir jetzt hier nicht noch weitere Dialoge...
Hiro Mikashiba's murder was sparked by the bullying of Toshiro Ihara, who committed suicide 4 years ago. The graphic video that hit the net showed the world how Toshiro's father, Akihiro Ihara, had brutally avenged his son. We also know the father had accomplices. On October 7th at 6:30 a.m., they forced Mikoshiba into a vehicle, took him to an abandoned building, and gravely injured him. Then, around 7:30 a.m., the time frame when Ihara killed Mikoshiba, the other conspirators were probably nearby, even though they weren't on camera.
At the same time, 30 kilometers away at Ikebukuro Station, a man who looks like Ihara is caught on camera. We'll call that guy the stand-in. The stand-in made sure he was in front of the cameras for more than an hour before boarding the 9:06 a.m. train, the same one Yui Mamiya was on. After committing sexual battery on that train, he meets the real Ihara in the camera's blind spot, and they change places. That's how he established a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. And to achieve this, the victim, Yui Mamiya, had to have been in on it from the start.
Sure are a lot of people getting their hands dirty for Ihara. Mamiya, Ihara's stand-in on the train, the guys who kidnapped Mikoshiba. How did some troubled cop manage to recruit so many allies?
Well, one person that comes to mind who might be the key to all this is Yoko Sawa. She's a teacher at Seiryo High. She was the only adult Toshiro-kun ever told about the bullying, and she supervised Mikoshiba as a teacher before he disappeared. On top of that, she's a Kurokawa Academy graduate, same as Mamiya. Those trespassers at the murder scene were also from Kurokawa.
Ah, Moment,
Since they're all about the same age, it's possible they were all classmates.
So you're saying these classmates are also Ihara's murder accomplices?
If we consider Yoko Sawa the central link, that's very possible. We do know that as a teacher, she felt deep remorse for Toshiro-kun's suicide. Maybe she recruited her old classmates to help Ihara take his revenge.
Yeah, that's not to rule that out. Though I'm hoping that's not the case.
Die wurde auch in dem einen Restaurant da angequatscht, dass sie die Klappe halten
She's
soll.
a really good teacher. She's passionate, responsible. She's always putting the students first. I know she regrets the past, that a student died on her watch. And now another of her students, Mikoshiba, is found murdered. So if it turns out she's involved in that, I doubt I'll be able to trust my own judge of character ever again.
Yagami.
I'm going back to Ijincho tomorrow. The plan is to bring up Mamiya's name to Sawa-sensei and see how she reacts. Until then, let's not jump to conclusions about her involvement.
All right.
Can I chime in real quick?
Nein!
I was looking into Kurokawa Academy and I stumbled across something that may be
Du
relevant.
darfst jetzt nichts mehr sagen. Wir wollen jetzt die Feier machen.
Well, it happened 13 years ago, but there was an attempted suicide. A third year jumped off the school's roof after being thoroughly humiliated.
Eine Selbstmordversuch vor 13 Jahren, das erwähnte Sawa-sensei ebenfalls. Wenn ich mich recht erinnere, liegt dieser Schüler jedoch bis heute im Koma.
Actually, Sawa-sensei mentioned that. She said it was a boy in her class.
Right, that's gotta be the same case then. The student's name was Mitsuru Kusamoto. He's 30 now, but still in a coma.
Huh, and all that info's on the net?
It wouldn't be normally, but his mother happens to be Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health. Ever heard the name Reiko Kusamoto?
Nein.
Not once.
I have. It was
Oh, Alter, könnt ihr mal
they were
aufhören zu
talking
reden?
about her and her son.
Vizeminister stehen über den meisten Regierungsbeamten. Reiko Kusama muss also ziemlich mächtig sein.
Well,
Ja,
do you
schön.
remember the uproar in the health ministry when Vice Minister Ichinose got arrested?
Nein.
Apparently, his successor couldn't contain the resulting chaos, which is when Kusamoto-san got tapped to lead. They couldn't afford another criminal scandal, so her promotion was out of the blue. She was a safe choice, a veteran with tenure and experience. Not to mention, her son's tragedy made people see her as a more sympathetic figure. Very popular. She's kind of a new generation heroine, so to speak.
Huh.
Is any of that relevant to the case at hand, though?
Who knows? But Reiko Kusamoto and Ihara both have children who were bullying victims. I don't think that's a connection we can afford to overlook, if you ask me.
Okay, so Kusumoto's son. What exactly happened to him?
Boah, Alter, jetzt erzählt
Let's
er
see.
dem das auch noch alles.
He was bullied by a fellow third year at his school, Shinya Kawai. The records say he harassed Mitsuru-kun every day, in and out of school. Well, one time he even stuffed dirty rags in his mouth.
That's so cruel.
Yeah, and the teacher was a real piece of work. Apparently he knew, but he just smirked and said, "Don't overdo it."
Oh, I remember now. The media pounced on that one hard.
If they were classmates, then both Sawa-sensei and Mamiya would know about this.
And maybe because they couldn't save Mitsuru-kun, their guilt left them open to Ihara's persuasion.
But to prove that, we'll have to hear from them directly. I'll talk to Sawa-sensei first thing tomorrow.
That'd be helpful. In the meantime, I'll be working on Ihara's appeal. It's clear they missed something important in the trial, since Ihara is apparently innocent of sexual battery. Being that he was out committing murder at the time.
What started as a simple harassment case sure has blown up big.
Okay, wir haben endlich aufgehört zu quatschen. Für heute sollte ich zurück ins Büro gehen. Ja, genau. Und wir sollten für heute Feierabend machen. Und, ja. Da mal schauen. Wir haben jede Menge massig Informationen bekommen. Viel zu viele Informationen für meinen Geschmack. Also in dem Game wird echt sehr, sehr viel geredet. Ne? Das ist echt schwierig. Aber egal. Mal gucken, was Sawa-sensei sagen wird. Wir gucken uns das Ganze mal an. Ich bedanke mich auf jeden Fall erstmal fürs Zusehen. Hoffe, euch hat die langwierige Folge gefallen. Und ja, gerne kommentieren, bewerten, kostenlos abonnieren. Und dann sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Bis dahin und ciao, ciao.